Hi guys, this is Cutlass. No bottle, no store, just talking. Um, I was just thinking a couple of days ago uh, about the future. Um, now, uh, I admitted in a video before I do cigars. And this one I have here is Aganorsa Leaf Supreme Leaf, the original Toro. And it was made, dropped about 3 years ago. And I've had it since then. And it got me to thinking about what some of us do as bourbon drinkers and cigar lovers. Um, I follow this guy on YouTube named Lee Mac 912. He's a cigar reviewer. Uh, uh, so I watch a lot of bourbon reviews, cigar reviews, and sometimes the notes that I get from a cigar aren't the same that reviewer gets or that the manufacturer may put in the leaflets or put on their website because everybody's palate is going to be different. The things that may trigger in your mind may not be the same as they would be in mine. I've never had nutmeg before that I know of. So when you're tasting a bourbon or smoking a cigar and you say, well, I'm getting hints of nutmeg, I have no clue what that is. So I can't say that I'm getting nutmeg. I may say, hey, there's a note there that I don't know. Um, but I do know what butterscotch tastes like. I do know that note of butter or vanilla, caramel. I do know those. In a cigar, I do know what black pepper is. I do know when I pick up wood notes. I know I can't differentiate between cedar and oak, what some guys may say, but I know when I'm picking up those notes are bread notes. Um, but going on, let me make a long story short. Um, Listening to Lee Mack, and this is an old video that he put out. It was basically um, you have all these wonderful cigars, and this is an outstanding cigar. You have all of these wonderful cigars, and you've collected them, but you haven't smoked them. You've collected them, but you haven't smoked them. And you continue to collect them, but you're not smoking them. You're smoking some other cigars, but you're not smoking what you consider your top tier cigars. What if something happens to you? What's going to happen to all those top tier cigars that you had? What's going to happen to them? And his thing was, hey, more than likely, your wife is going to throw them out because she just wants to get rid of them, or she's going to give them to your brother-in-law who doesn't appreciate them, or just donate them, give them away to just anybody. And I think the same thing, and I look at that when I first started. Well, I'm not going to say when I first started in bourbon. I wasn't collecting, but as I grew and matured in bourbon, I did start to collect, and I did collect cigars. I hoarded cigars for a long time, not smoking, but just having that top tier cigar, knowing that I had it, and I would smoke my other cigars. And that's what I had started doing with bourbon. I was starting to pick up those bottles that I was seeing reviewers talk about and say, hey, you need to get this, or this is an outstanding, it beat out this, and not drinking it and not enjoying it. So what are you doing with your bottles? What I've started doing, I've started drinking my bottles. I've started sharing my bottles with others so that they can experience what I'm experiencing. Um, why should I keep that to myself? So I do share. I still collect, but I'm drinking. I don't drink as often as I used to, but I do drink, and I try to enjoy the bottles that I buy. Sometimes I buy more bottles than what I should, but I try to enjoy and experience those bottles and see what is it that that reviewer got out of that bottle to make them say what they said, and see if I can get that. Even though I know my palate is different from their palate, can I enjoy this bottle just like they can? Now, there are a couple of bottles that I have that aren't hitting that note. So um, we'll see how this journey goes, and hopefully, um, you know, you begin to experience your bottles, share your bottles. Because if something happens to you, what's going to happen to all of those top tier bottles that you have collected and you stored away in a box or stored away in a room? What's going to happen to all those bottles? Okay? So, what are you doing with your bottles? What are you doing with your cigars? Enjoy the experience, enjoy life, live it to the fullest. Everybody, I hope you have a great day. Cheers.